Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are MC.
Royals baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. And a long homestand comes to an end for the Royals. And tonight they can cap it with a 3-game sweep over the Texas Rangers. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and Joel Goldberg will be joining us shortly. We began last night talking about a Royals one-run victory with Salvador Perez getting the game-winning RBI. And let's do the same thing again tonight.
Why not? Roll it over. 3 times in a row. I'm going to tell you, Salvador Perez is worth the price of admission. What this guy does on both sides of the ball, it's worth not leaving your seat over. He can make a difference on both sides. Been really exciting to watch his play.
He's our MTP of the game, the most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda.
Recently, Salvador Perez is finding the holes. That ball away, he's hitting away, is getting him geared on that ball in. Consecutive nights coming through with the game winner. That's exactly what they expect out of him, and he expects it out of himself. In my opinion, he's the heartbeat of the Kansas City Royals.
And he was also back at the plate for 2 well-pitched games. The Rangers have only scored 4 runs in the first 2 games. Jeremy Guthrie really used his defense effectively last night. We expect the same from Jason Vargas.
No question, just coming out of the left arm, that's the only difference. But both these veteran pitchers know how to use the defense, and the defensive players, they're spectacular. They have the ability to make great plays. They can come up with it. They have the confidence, and that's their winning combination, pitching and defense.
And last night, the Royals won a 1-run game without Herrera, without Davis, and without Holland. They're available tonight, and Joel will talk more about the bullpen when we come back.
Last night, not a full bullpen, but the guys that were out there got the job done. Francisco Bueno, 1 pitch to get a lefty out in the 8th inning. Jason Frazier came in, was in a little trouble, and he escaped it against his former team. And then Aaron Crow, who had recently been sent down to the minors, struggling this year, gets his 3rd save of the season. A huge performance for the Royals bullpen. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg here in center field. And we know how great the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning can be for Ned Yost with Herrera, Davis, and Holland. But last night, Wade Davis and company got to watch the others get the job done.
We've got full confidence in everybody. I think our coaching staff does too, for the most part. And I've got a chance to talk to Frazier and Bueno and Crow all year, and even Downsy. These guys got a lot of experience. They've been doing it a lot longer than I have. Probably all 3 of us at the back end combined. So, it's good for the team to pull out a win like that without having their closer in the game. And I think we'll be able to do that from here on out too.
Davis, along with Herrera and Holland, had each pitched in the previous 3 games. They're rested and ready to go. As for Davis, 8 wins by a reliever, most by a Royal since 2000.
Jason Vargas going for his 11th win tonight as he faces the Texas Rangers for the 2nd time this year, and the Royals wrap up a long homestand. It is a warm and comfortable night at Kauffman Stadium and in Kansas City. The Royals have won the first 2 games with the Rangers, close games, 4-3 in game 1 and then 2-1 last night. So there's Vargas getting ready to take the field against Ron Washington and the Texas Rangers. They've lost 4 in a row, and they've had trouble scoring runs lately. They've only scored 6 runs in those 4 losses, but that's just a slice of a much bigger problem. They are 32 games below 500. For the Royals, after tonight, they have an off day and then an important road trip. 3 games in New York against the Yankees, and then 3 games against the Detroit Tigers. But we're the only ones talking about that. First things first. Jason Vargas, our Kia starting pitcher, getting ready for the Rangers.
Yep. How about that? Just allowed 9 walks, 86 innings at home. He's been really good as far as keeping those free base runners off the base. He wants them to earn it. Now, 13 of his 15 home runs have been allowed to right-handed batters, and 11 of his 15 home runs have come here at the K. So the changeup is the big culprit on that one. Just locate the changeup, fastball. He's got a really nice curveball occasionally he'll use, but stay down and pitch the corners.
And you mentioned those right-hand batters giving him some trouble. Well, he will see 8 right-hand batters with the switch hitters tonight. Only Leonis Martin will bat from the left side.
Yep, it's not going to bother Vargas. He's used to pitching to righties, and he uses that fastball in off the plate to bust him in to open up the outside part of the plate for his changeup. Keep it simple, and he's got a great tempo, Vargas does. Defensively behind him, we're going to highlight the double plays. How about that? There's no one particular highlighted, but we'll talk about the ground ball double plays that have been induced. It's been really nice here this series. Now Vargas, he has induced 11 ground ball double plays so far this year, so expect the same. Keep him off balance, get him to hit the top of the ball. That's what rolls him up.
And our umpiring crew, that's the crew chief, Field and Colbreth. He's back at the plate tonight with Alan Porter at first base, Marty Foster at second, and Rob Drake at third. And we'll keep an eye on Field and Colbreth's strike zone, because the last time Jason Vargas faced the Rangers, Vargas and the Royals, and we did too, felt like he really got squeezed by the home plate umpire. Daniel Robertson leads off and plays in left field, and Leonis Martin, the left-hand batter, moves down in the order, and Vargas begins the night with a strike.
Yep. He's not overpowering. His average fastball is going to be about 87.
Off the end of the bat, Aoki backpedals, and there is one down.
Early countouts will be important for Vargas, as they are most starters, but you know, with the back end of this great Royals bullpen getting last night off, it would be nice if they could get another night off tonight, so Vargas can go deep, keep the pitch count down, try to go 7. That'd be a really special night. Back-to-back starters for Ned Yost, going 7 innings. Plus they got an off day tomorrow. That would give that back end 3 full days off going into the important road series.
Ball 1 to Elvis Andrus. Rangers shortstop, just 1 for 8 in the first 2 games of the run scored. Vargas has spent a lot of his career in the American League West, pitching for the Mariners, pitching for the Angels, so he's hooked up with Andrus quite a bit. This is Andrus' 48th career at bat against Vargas. One and two.
Vargas, he has a really good tempo. He comes off of that mound looking for the ball, always has his glove out. It's good confidence, body language look that he carries.
Tied him up. Hosmer to the grass, and there are 2 down. You always say about good pitchers, and Vargas is a good pitcher, if you're going to get him, you better get him early before he finds his groove. But with Vargas, that does not normally apply to him. He is usually ready to go with his first pitch. His ERA is just barely over 1 in the first inning, and 25 starts before tonight, he's only allowed a total of 3 runs in the first inning.
He doesn't shy away from contact. He comes right at you. Now he does his best work on the corners like most veteran pitchers do. They try to do, stay out of the middle. He's going to come right at you.
Alex Rios had 3 hits last night. His only 3 hits of the series, and that's a good sign right there that Vargas is getting that call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1 on Alex Rios. On the ground to Escobar. So another good first inning for Vargas. 3 up, 3 down. Is brought to you by your Kansas City Chevy dealers. Make your move to Chevrolet today. By the Missouri Lottery. Try the new Lucky Sevens playbook. And by ATT Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world. 25-year-old Nick Tepesch, born in Kansas City and went to high school at Blue Springs. His coach was Brad Maxfield. He was the Red Sox 28th round pick in 2007 and decided to go to MU instead. Brad Mayfield was his high school coach at Blue Springs, and he was a closer his freshman year at MU. A couple of years after that, taken in the 14th round by the Rangers.
Most players before the game and even the first inning are a little bit nervous. I mean, not real nervous, but got butterflies anyway. But Tepesch certainly will, pitching right here in the ballpark that he grew up watching these Royals. So he'll have to control his emotions a little bit, see if he can stay in the strike zone. His pitches are a sinking fastball. He'll go 88 to 91 with that. He's got a four-seamer as well. Complements it with a slider, curve, and very few changeups. So Royals want to just look him up, see him up in the zone, and take advantage of those mistakes when he makes them. There's a nice breeze blowing from the right field foul pole to the left. It's going to help right-handed hitters pull the ball to left field.
One and two on Aoki. You know, it's always funny. Guy gets to the big leagues. He plays in front of big crowds. He plays on television just about every single game, on radio, a lot of exposure, and yet it doesn't matter how long you've been in the big leagues. If you have some friends and family scattered amongst a big crowd, there is still a desire to please him, just like he might in Little League.
Oh, without a doubt. So really what you want to do if you're the Royals is just try to take advantage of any mistake early, get some runs on the board, put some self-doubt in his mind, so he can either be really good or not so good.
Rosales plays at third, and he gets Aoki. Nori was really trying to hit the ball to the left side in that at bat.
Texas Rangers defense. We have highlighted is Adam Rosales. started at all 4 infield positions this season. Very energetic. A 5-year utility player in the big leagues when possibly he could get his full 10 years in the way this guy plays the game. He plays aggressively. No matter where he plays, very alert, heads up.
You were kind of stalking him during batting practice tonight.
You know, I just really respect players that go 100%, and that's all you can give. And this guy here, he's worked extremely hard to get his 5 years in the majors. He's been, you know, with a couple of different teams. He's been pushed around. He's been to the minor leagues and back, you know, Oakland and then Texas. And so it's just, he's refreshing to me.
2-1 on Omar Infante. Yeah, you said he's bounced around. Rosales, he had, let's see, 10 days last year he will never forget. On August the 2nd, he was waived by the A's. The Rangers claimed him. 6 days later, he was waived by the Rangers. The A's claimed him back. 4 days after that, he was waived by the A's, and the Rangers took him back a 3rd time. You know, all of that in 10 days. Talk about feeling like a rope in the game of tug of war.
Yeah, but what's interesting is that once a team usually lets you go, you never go back. But the fact that they wanted him back means that they really didn't want to get rid of him in the first place. And why would you? The guy can help you anywhere in the diamond. He hustles, he can pinch run, he's got some pop in his bat. To me, he's a winning baseball player. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Alex Gordon has 3 home runs and 6 RBIs on this homestand. Tepish in with strike 1. $18 home runs this year to lead the Royals. 120 home runs for his career. Off the knuckles, and there's Rosales to make the play. So Tepish perhaps was able to get rid of some of the butterflies there as he has a 1-2-3 bottom of the 1st inning. No score. Jason Vargas back to the mound when we come back. With quick 1st innings. Royals have a day off tomorrow. Then we head to New York for a 3-game series with the Yankees. Friday's game is on Fox Sports Kansas City. Remember, Saturday, the Royals and Yankees play at 3 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. And then on Sunday, back on Fox Sports Kansas City. So that begins the road trip. And the Yankees are hanging on in the wild card. They are running out of time very quickly. Both the Yankees and the Indians 5 games back, and Toronto 5.5 back in the American League wild card. And then, of course, after that Yankee series, 3 games in Detroit.
That'd be nice to see the Royals offense get hot going into New York City and taking care of business there and just really put them out of the race.
Beltre to Escobar. High throw, and now Beltre, did he make a move or did he just head to the left of first base because he was avoiding the tag? Now fans who know the rule are booing because they felt like he moved towards second base, but that was because he was avoiding the tag.
The arm angle on Escobar now. Look, he's trying to get out of the way of the tag. You're right, Rhino. He touched the front part of the base. And now Hosmer's going to go over and tag him because he's in play. But they're going to say no, that he was just trying to get out of the way. Now Escobar, you don't see that very often. We've seen him on this homestand let a ball eat him up, go between his legs, and then an errant throw like that is very rare to see from him.
Ryan Rua is playing at first base tonight. Much more comfortable in the infield than he is in the outfield. You know, that play on Beltre, that's a rule sometimes that gets misinterpreted, in that some believe that if the runner ends up on the left side of the line that he can then be tagged, but it's all about whether there was intent to advance to second base. So I think that shocked a lot of fans here that Beltre was that far away from first and to the left of the bag and was not considered in play, but there was no intent to advance to the next base.
Perfectly described. Royals now have made an error in 7 straight games.
Line to left, sinking, and Alex caught it. The Rangers don't think so. Out. Double play for now. Ron Washington is already out of the third base dugout. Gary Pettis, the Rangers third base coach, was screaming that it was a trap. And it took a while for any umpire to make a call. And I don't think if they go to the headsets that this is going to be a Rangers challenge. I think the umpires are doing this on their own.
Okay, Alex Gordon on contact, he didn't come in right away. And he's so good at selling catches like that. Look at how his arm gets contorted, and fortunately didn't have any type of injury there, but he tried to read that ball off the bat and didn't realize it had the top spin it had on it. So then by the time he started in, might have been a little bit too late.
And I would bet a further argument of the Rangers is that Beltre's out at first base because he saw the trap, and that's clearly a trap.
Right.
And so he was slow to get back, and that's how the Royals turned the double play. And so they have ruled that the ball hit the grass first. They're going to give second base to Beltre, and Rua will get first.
Yeah, just happy to see Alex is okay, because and the way he turned his wrist and his shoulder awkwardly right there. I mean, a lot of guys get hurt on plays like that, but Alex, very athletic, was able to keep himself in the game. Great attempt. Just didn't come in right away on contact.
And no argument from the Royals. They saw the same thing.
See what Ron Washington decides to do here early. Nobody out. Rosales, he can hit and he can bunt.
Outside for ball 1. 2 hits in the first 2 games for Rosales, including a double and a run scored. And he has good numbers in the past against Vargas. One and one. It's just a couple of pitches, but that pitch to Rosales and a pitch to Andrews last inning at the knees over the outside part of the plate or near the outside part of the plate. Those are pitches that Vargas needs from the home plate umpire.
Sure would like to get him. Rangers overall as a team hitting .267 against southpaws, and their record is 16-25 against left-handed starters. Time to put him in the lane.
And he got that call. So he's getting both corners. And Vargas gets his first strikeout. Don't forget to tweet your photo using hashtag KCFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during tonight's game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Tomas Taillon with 2 on 1 out, and a big curveball falls in for a strike.
Yeah, Vargas will drop that in occasionally. Likes to use it for first pitch strikes. That's the least amount of his 3 pitches that he uses, that curveball.
He gave up 11 hits when he faced the Rangers on the 24th. The Rangers were 0 for 11. Or rather, they left 11 runners on base. And they're in danger of doing the same thing here with a couple of runners to begin the second inning. And Taillon's just missed, grounding into a double play. And the Rangers have runners at first and third with 2 down.
Ball wasn't hit all that hard. 3-hopper. Escobar gets to it quickly. And Infante, been watching him turn double plays the last 2 games of the series, using mainly quick hands to get the ball to first, not relying on that arm strength because he's had some shoulder difficulties. So you can see his transfer. He's trying to make up with the lack of power on his throws with his quick hands.
Here's the one left-hand batter that Vargas will see tonight. Leonis Martin. So all those runners against Vargas in Texas, which is 4 for 16 with runners in scoring position and 11 left on base in 6 innings. And that's Vargas. He will tease you into thinking you've got him on the ropes, and oftentimes the exact opposite is true. Busted bat. Moustakas makes the play, and the Rangers lead 2 in the second inning.
He got all in his kitchen.
Salvador Perez, Eric Hosmer, and Billy Butler coming up. Remember, there's still time to cheer on Alex Gordon in his special fan section. Gordo Nation. You'll get this limited edition Gordo Nation t-shirt and a seat near Alex in left field for just $35. Your next and last chance is coming up next Thursday when the Royals host the Red Sox. Royals.com/Gordo Nation for tickets. Salvador Perez has driven in 4 in this series and 8 on the homestand. Andrews goes out into shallow left center, but coming up is Robertson to make the play, and Blue Springs' Nick Tepesh has retired the first 4.
Somebody's got to take charge out there.
Eric Hosmer 2 out of 8 in the first 2 games with a double and a stolen base.
That last pitch was Tepesh's bread and butter. Now that's his third best pitch is curveball, but that 2-seam sinking fastball that starts in the middle of the plate and ends up away to a lefty, that's purposely designed to go away and fool the left-handed batter. Ground ball pitcher. Osborne is 1 for 3 off of Tepesh.
Look at that beautiful sunset.
No rain forecasted tonight. Beautiful.
Last couple days have been ideal. Plenty of rain in the morning to get the grass green again, and then no rain at night. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's been great. Turn the water off on the sprinklers. Natural rain's been really great. Everything's greened up. See if Hosmer can uncork one.
Andrews charges and throws in time to get Hosmer. 2 down. Tepesh is throwing strikes. He had some control issues in his previous 3 starts, and he's really not the type of pitcher who can deal with that because he doesn't have a lot of strikeouts to make up for walks. If you count his cutter, he throws a lot of fastballs.
A lot of pitchers in this modern day will have multiple pitches off of their fastball. They'll use a cutter, sinker, 4-seamer. They turn that pitch into 3. And really, those are confusing to hitters. They prefer a guy to just throw 4-seam fastballs up there. It stays straighter. It's a little bit easier to pick up and put in play. But you start manipulating that ball, makes it even tougher. Sinker.
Away, away, away. And he gets a strikeout of Billy Butler. Tepesh retires the first 6. And at the end of 2, no score. inning, and Jason Vargas, as his usual self, pitched around that. Even after a potential double play was reversed by the umpiring crew as they conferenced on their own after Ron Washington came out and was about to use a challenge. Luis Sardinas is the number 9 hitter. He got an at-bat last night and struck out as a pinch hitter.
Kept the last out of the game.
Escobar, who had a throwing error last inning, is on the money this time to Hosmer. 1 down.
Early count out. Escobar very good with his feet, his glove, arms solid. Once in a while, he's only human, he'll miscue.
Daniel Robertson opened the game with a fly ball to right field. Thinking about a bunt. Moustakas was already in on the left side.
Right-handed batters that can bunt usually will try to push that ball off a lefty. Most left-handers fall off to the mound to the third base side. And when you have a guy that throws a lot of changeups, that's usually the easiest push to a bunt to push over there. So that's what Robertson was thinking. It's not a bad idea.
Two and one. Again, getting the call in the corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Rhino, I wonder when umpires started doing that. When the ball hits the dirt, a short hop, the catcher catches it, and the catcher gives the ball to the umpire and they throw it out. They didn't always do that. That ball's tagged.
Kane runs a long way. He keeps it off the warning track, but Robertson ends up at second base with 1 out.
Do you have any idea when they started doing that?
Well, I remember that, and it doesn't seem that long ago, but it probably was, where it would be the hitter who would ask the umpire to look at it, and the umpire would inspect the baseball, because there was a time when they tried to save baseballs, and there might be a little scuff on it, but he might try and rub the dirt off and just give it right back to the catcher.
Right.
But I think there's such an awareness these days of what a potential scuff ball can do, that now if there's any question, and they're giving balls away left and right, foul balls.
That's a good point.
Just get rid of it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You know, because there earlier, you know, in decades earlier, they wanted to save the baseballs. I remember as a young player, if you got caught throwing a ball into the stands or giving it away, you got fined. So that might be a point.
It was a post-strike gesture of goodwill, giving away all the foul balls.
Strike being in '94, the last one. Thank you.
One ball, 1 strike. Not to get too deep on this, but I remember as a ball boy, you'd go get the ball up against the screen, a foul ball, and it was the ball boy's job to inspect the baseball and decide whether you would take it back out to the umpire, or there was always a little bag there that you put the ball in that bag, and then it became a batting practice ball.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I used to have tremendous power in a game. Escobar gets Andrews. Robertson goes to third, and there are 2 down. And now Vargas will get Alex Rios. Rios Grounded out to Escobar to end the first inning. Oh, 0-1.
Backdoor curve, get me over. Strike one. We don't see Vargas double up with those very much, but I know a lot of lefties, if they get that first curve over, they might try it again.
Back with a change and had him off balance. 0-2.
Daniel Robertson, the third base runner for the Rangers, came down the line hard trying to distract Vargas. That last pitch there, he's trying to get into Vargas's mind.
Back with a changeup again, so he strikes out Rios on 3 straight pitches. Second strikeout for Vargas. He has 3 scoreless innings. This volunteer who organizes multiple events for the Dwight Eisenhower Hospital in Leavenworth and organizes the veteran activities for 16 local chapters, giving time and money for others. She also volunteers at Harvesters and Seton Center during the holiday season. Pam has also co-created the Madam President Camp, a leadership camp designed to inspire girls to become leaders in their communities. And she's sitting in the Buck O'Neil Legacy seat at tonight's game.
Thanks, Pam. What you do for others is what really matters.
Lorenzo Cain leads off, followed by Mike Moustakas and Alcides Escobar. Nick Tepesch in his Rangers debut at Kauffman Stadium has retired the first 6. He actually pitched a college game here back in 2008 for MU when they had the Border Classic, KU and MU. And it was pointed out by the proud Jayhawk, our associate producer Dave Holtzman, that the Jayhawks won that game 3-0 back in 2008. But the point is, this is not the first time Nick Tepesch has pitched on this mound, but it's been a while.
It has, but this is a big league game. It's a whole lot different. Stakes are high. It's time to do exactly what Lorenzo Cain's doing. Being patient. Wait for your pitch. Hunt it out. Dude, the Royals just look like they're up there swinging at everything again. No, that's not going to work. Vargas has only received 13 runs of support in his last 7 starts. He's got to get some runs to win.
Tepish has been pitching exclusively out of the windup. Royals would like to get Kane on, get him out of the stretch, divide his attention with some speed at first base. Still 3-2.
This is a really nice first at bat of the night for Lorenzo. Seeing a lot of pitches, being selective. Base hit, ball 4 will work.
On the ground to Andrews. 1 down.
Kid sinker ball pitchers, most of the time, if they're on their game, so far it looks like Tepish is, you just got to find holes. You're going to make some contact, you know, and with that downward movement of the baseball, you know, it's over the middle of the plate, but you just can't seem to help it. You're going to make contact, but if you find holes, you win. But if you don't, it can be a very frustrating evening.
Mike Moustakas has had a good series so far against Texas. 3 hits, a double, and an RBI. Two and 0. We've brought it up before, but this is a style of pitcher that Moustakas usually does well against. Three and 0.
Nice take there. That looked pretty good.
Not even close.
3-0, green light him. Ooh.
Not a good result. That's the kind of pitch you want to swing at on 3-0. 2 down in the 3rd, and now Tepish has retired the first 8. Some significance there, and that Lorenzo Cain trying to get to 25 would put the Royals, at least this year's Royals, in elite company in Royals history, having at least 3 guys with 25 stolen bases. And here it is, our sprint question of the night. What was the last year that 3 Royals had 25 or more stolen bases? That may surprise many Royals fans, especially the teams of the 70s and the 80s, especially the Whitey Herzog teams that would just run teams into the fountains night after night. That there's only been 1 team in Royals history that's had 3 players with 25 or more stolen bases. A lot of room up the left field line. The Rangers are playing Escobar the other way. So with a different shift, that might have been an out, but Escobar ends up with a 2-out double.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, it's a ball that's left up. He's able to pull it, but man, that had a lot of air under it. But they just were playing him, like you said, Rhino, way over to the left center side. He had all day to run. See how far out in front he is? Catches it out front. Home plate's back here. Catch it out front, you get you a double.
So Escobar on the edge of 30 doubles for the season. And now Tepish pitches out of the stretch for the first time. Nori Aoki took some Nori Aoki swings first time up. Awkward, and yet you could tell he was really trying to work the left side, doing whatever he could to hit the ball to the left side, and he eventually grounded out to Rosales.
And, you know, and you could tell he was trying to do that, but That's what you want to do. You want to be able to wait on a guy like Tepesh. Not overpowering, wait on him, but right here.
Back to Tepesh.
No luck.
So a 2-out double. The Royals strand Escobar, and now at the end of 3, no score.
Coming up, we always enjoy watching some of his antics at the plate and in the field, and when it involves his friend and his wingman on the left side, Elvis Andrus, it can be entertaining. This is a recurring theme for these two guys, where they oftentimes will battle for the same pop-up, and it oftentimes ends with Elvis Andrus smiling and Adrian Beltre saying, stay on your side, kind of like two brothers fighting in a car and a dividing line or a border that they end up setting up. And I talked to both players about this today, and Elvis says, I just like to mess with him. I know what I can catch and what he's going to catch. He always has his glove up there, and I love that stare down afterwards. In the case of Beltre, he's not really angry. There you see some of the jitterbugging that he often does in the box. But for Adrian Beltre, he says it's about having fun every single day. A little tougher, he said, this year with a team that is struggling. But a long season, both guys told me, you have to enjoy it. And in Beltre's case, he said, look, you never know when there's going to be a tomorrow. Enjoy today. But I'll tell you what, guys, highlight after highlight of those two. We've seen a lot of that over the years. It's pretty entertaining.
2-1 on Beltre. And we discussed this in Texas when the Rangers season was going nowhere. You know that John Daniels, the Rangers GM, got a lot of calls about whether Adrian Beltre was available for a trade. But word was that the Rangers said that he was unavailable. He is on for the second time tonight. He reached on an error his first time. And that's the second double tonight for the Rangers against Vargas.
Slight rock back, get himself loaded up so he can get some power coming forward. Didn't really put a great swing on the ball, but he put it in the right place.
And now Ryan Rua, he singled his first time up. A play that was first ruled a catch by Alex Gordon, and then subsequently a double play as Alex threw out Beltre trying to get back to first. But as Ron Washington came out of the dugout, he didn't even have to use his challenge. The umpires took it upon themselves to get together, and they reversed the play, called it a trap, and gave Rua a single.
Excellent pitch. It's time for Vargas to go to work. And of course, he has been going to work. He's been executing pitches already when the Rangers have had some guys in scoring position. That's the mark of a real solid veteran pitcher who can set the opponents down when they're trying to score. Keep them off balance.
Off the end of the bat, Beltre wasn't sure, so with 2 strikes, Rua got it to the right side, but does not advance the runner. Beers of the K is back on Friday, September 12th. The Royals host the Red Sox. We hope you'll join us for this pregame event and enjoy unique beer options such as Miller Coors Blue Moon Harvest Pumpkin Ale and Leinenkugel Uber Oktoberfest, Boulevard's Tank 7, and Ginger Lemon Radler, Anheuser-Busch's Goose Island Rambler. You familiar with some of these beverages?
Absolutely.
Anyway, packages start at just $18. It includes a ticket to the game, Beers of the K ticket, and a 4-ounce tasting mug.
Kind of making me a little thirsty. I don't think they'll let us go out there and partake, though. We gotta stay right up here and talk about our Royals victory.
Wanted one on Rosales. He struck out looking in the second inning. Aoki gets behind it. Beltre just bluffs a tag. So the leadoff double, and now Beltre is still at second base with 2 down. And had Beltre gone to third on the ground ball by Rua, that may have been deep enough to get him home.
Yep, might have been close, but you know, Beltre, he froze on the line. That's what they teach you to do with nobody out. So he wasn't sure if Infante was going to catch that short hop or not. So he stayed there. But good break for the Royals.
Tomas Talis reached on a force out in the second inning. Oh, and 1. Got him to chase down and away. No balls, 2 strikes. And then back upstairs with a fastball. So the Rangers have stranded 4 tonight, and now in 10 innings this year against Jason Vargas, they have stranded 15 runners. Royals baseball is brought to you by Panera Bread, the new location opening September 23rd at College and King in Overland Park. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. City of Fountains, Kansas City. Was that in front of Union Station? Is that where that was?
Beautiful shot. They're everywhere. But I'm going to tell you, here at the K, you don't see fountains in any other ballpark in America. Not like this.
Fountains and waterfalls. Trademark of Kauffman Stadium, and before that Royals Stadium, going back to 1973. Omar Infante, Alex Gordon, and Salvador Perez coming up in the 4th inning. Omar flied to left in the 1st. One and one. We remind you to vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com/Royals, and you'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. Into left center field and cut off by Robertson. That's just the 2nd hit for the Royals, and the first time they've had a leadoff man on.
Now, it's not easy to do every time up, but you know that what you want to give yourself a good opportunity to put the ball in play like that is wait. There it is, right over the plate. Every so often, he's going to make a mistake and try to get a strike in there on you over the middle of the plate, and the key is to try to not overswing and just put it in play, just like Infante did. See if they can get something started. Get back to some frenzy hitting here. Gotta get Vargas the lead. They're hoping not to wait late like they have been.
Ball one to Alex. Alex popped out to 3rd in the 1st inning.
Made him 2 for 7 off Tepesh with a nice home run in there. Tepesh going to do all he can to keep that ball right there on the outer half. Alex knows that that's what he was trying to do. He didn't want to swing at it.
Two balls and 1 strike.
That was a changeup that doesn't throw very often at all. You know, he's got Tepesh thinking a little bit here on what he's going to do with his next pitch. I mean, Alex Gordon, he can turn the game around in one swing.
Tell you, for a kid who grew up in Blue Springs and is used to the Kansas City summers, Nick Tepesh is not short on perspiration. It almost looks like he has a different colored jersey than his pants.
I was noticing that in the 2nd inning.
And this isn't even a hot Kansas City evening.
Yeah, you can see the contrast. Looked like he took the ice plunge, the ice challenge in between innings.
Three and one on Alex.
You can tell just watching this at bat here how Tepesh is thinking. It's not the hitter. Tepesh is taking his time. He's making sure that he does not make a mistake. And sometimes when you do that, that's when you make a mistake.
Infante runs, and Alex launches it to center field. Back goes Martin. It is gone. Second career home run for Alex against Tepesh. AT&T Uverse Rewind takes us back not long ago, just to the 23rd, and this is Alex against Tepesh in Arlington, Texas. Hit the top of the right field foul pole.
You could tell by watching Tepesh how he was posturing around the mound that he was a little bit unsure of himself. And Alex knew he wasn't going to come in. He knew that he was going to stay middle away, so he gauged his swing towards the middle of the ballpark, caught it underneath, and hit a nice big 19th home run to give Vargas the lead. You could feel it coming.
And now Sal hits it to Rosales. That's the first out. And now Tepesh gets Eric Hosmer, who grounded out to short in the second inning. Two balls and no strikes.
I can't remember the last left-handed batter that hit one to the opposite field over there in that spot where Alex hit his. We've seen a few home runs period from righties and lefties in center, but not many. He didn't miss that at all.
That was his fourth home run of the homestand, and Alex has now driven in 8 during the homestand. Hosmer back to Tepesh, almost hit him on the chin. 2 down. So after the home run, a line out and a sharply hit ground ball right back at him.
Pretty good fielding position, but that ball found him. He didn't find it.
Breaking ball for a strike to Billy. Tepesh in the second inning pitched Billy away, and got him to swing over a slider. Andrews to the middle. Billy is out, and that's the end of the bottom of the 4th inning. Omar Infante singles. Alex Gordon on a 3-1 pitch puts the Royals in front 2-0. Run to give the Royals a 2-0 lead as we go to the 5th. We hope you'll join Major League Baseball and the Royals as we remember and pay tribute to those who lost their lives or loved ones on September the 11th. And when the Royals host the Red Sox, all uniformed heroes and first responders have access to $10 Field Plaza and $5 Hy-Vee infield seats as a thank you for their service. Just go to Royals.com/GovX, or you can purchase at the box office with a valid ID.
Some excited fans there.
That's about where Alex's home run landed. Martin, who was jammed badly first time up against Vargas, tries to put down a bunt, and Vargas throws him out. 1 pitch, 1 away.
Vargas threw a strike over there to Hosmer. You got to be precision like here. Angle's not good. You got to keep that ball away from that bag over there on the second base side. And Vargas said, "Whoa, I almost got him." "52 pitches. Very good. 37 strikes, 15 balls. He's working it.
You know, I looked it up. That struck a nerve when Vargas made that play. And remember, when he pitched against the Rangers in Texas, he committed a throwing error on a bunt. The bunter was Leonis Martin. So this time Vargas got him. In Texas, that throw went up the right field line.
And the bunt was more precision like. It was closer to the line. So Vargas really didn't have much room. And I felt like he forced it. I felt like he forced it. He shouldn't even have thrown it. But, you know, they're out there game speed. They're competing. And it's hard to not try to. It's hard to stop from making the play when you want to get him out. This young man here, switch hitter. Good bunter, runs well, does all the things that a second baseman, shortstop needs to do. They're looking at him.
Norrie was already shallow in right field, so he retreats a few strides. 2 down. Now the Rangers begin their 3rd time through the order against Vargas. Texas has 3 hits so far. Daniel Robertson has one of those. He had a 1-out double in the 3rd inning.
That was a cookie right down the middle. After your team gets you a couple of runs, you want to go out and do exactly what Vargas is doing. 1, 2, 3. Keep the momentum in your dugout. Get some more. Get greedy.
Two 2-0 on Robertson. Robertson making sure that home plate umpire Fielden Colbreth gives him enough time to settle in, as Vargas, when he's feeling good, really gets on a roll with his tempo. He's almost always a fast worker, but when he's pitching like he is tonight, he gets the ball back from Salvador Perez and he's ready to go with the next pitch almost immediately.
I was telling Vargas that the other day, that I really appreciated the way he went at his tempo, the way he got the ball back from the catcher, and how he got right back up there. And he said, in order for my defense to stay in the game and to stay on their toes, I have to do that. He relies on them. He's not going to blow guys away and get heavy strikeouts. He's a guy who pitches to contact, and he does it with precision like command with his pitches. Fastballs in, bust them off the plate, show a few of those in, once in a while get an inside strike, and then pull the chute with a changeup. Very consistent with his pitches in the innings.
Aoki to the line. He's there to make the play. Nice quick inning for Vargas after the Royals got him 2 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Two-run home run is the only offense tonight. Royals going for a sweep over the Rangers. Don't miss the explosive final season of Sons of Anarchy, premiering Tuesday, September 9th, only on FX. Lorenzo Cain, Mike Moustakas, Alcides Escobar coming up in the bottom of the 5th. Tepesh retired 9 of the first 10 tonight, and then Infante singled in the 4th, and then Gordon hit the 2-run home run. Oh, and 2.
Curveball had some nice bite to it. See how it hung up there around his shoulders. Hitter can tell that's going to be a pitch he can handle if it breaks, if it starts out around neck high. That's a good downward action to it.
And our Missouri Lottery Fox tracks showed us that that pitch was in the strike zone. Cain down 0-2, goes the other way. So that Tepesh really thought he had him set up for that pitch, but Cain was ready for it, and he's on to begin the 5th inning.
Boy, now that's exactly what you want to do. This is a 2-strike approach here. Okay, look at his head position right there. Look at it. Head is down on the ball. He's going to wait till that ball gets deep, and he's making contact back here. Good little bend, nice balance. Perfect 2-strike approach. Take him the other way.
Outside to Moustakas. He went after a 3-0 pitch, and it was a good 3-0 pitch to swing at, where Tepesh got him to pop out to short. We were telling you earlier about Lorenzo Cain. He is 1 stolen base away from becoming the 3rd Royal this year, with at least 25 stolen bases. Lorenzo has been successful in his last 17 stolen base attempts. 4 of those on this homestand.
He's able to get good jumps, but also he's picking good pitches to go on. Best time to go is on a breaking ball, off-speed pitch.
2-0.
Last 2 nights, the Royals have ripped off 5 stolen bases.
And now Tepish perhaps feeling like he's getting squeezed, and here's Moustakas with another 3-0 count.
That's a nice spot for him. That's where he wants to stay. Why not give him another green light? See if he. Ooh, and that's the one there. Now he got that one his last time up. He might have done something with that. But you know, you're almost better off taking. Take it. Same count or same opportunity. 3-1. He's going to come back in there again.
Breaking ball this time. Out at second. Double play. Remember to follow every Royals game through the end of the regular season with the MLB.com At Bat app, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone or tablet. Get live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, stats, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. And you can download the At Bat app at the App Store, which is not easy to say, but I hope you understand what I was trying to say. Royals got a leadoff single. Tepish keeping the ball down, gets a ground ball double play. He gets Escobar on a ground ball to short, and the Royals send 3 to the plate in a scoreless 5th inning.
Vargas on the hill. Our Mazda game break takes us to a contest that took just 2 hours and 20 minutes. 3 solo homers, that's it, including this one from Corey Hart, which ends up being the difference. Homers from Kyle Seager, Corey Hart, and Adam Dunn, a pitcher's duel. Felix Hernandez, 8 innings, 1 run. John Lester, 8 innings, 2 runs. The Royals, with the win here tonight, think about this, and you see the wild card, the Royals would be 77 wins. Oakland, who once had the best record in baseball, has 79 wins, but the gap is closing in the wild card with them in that top spot. And since that John Lester trade, the A's are 13-19.
Whoa. And what's the Tigers record since the David Price trade? I think that's panned out quite the way they had hoped. But there's still plenty of games to be played. It's interesting, to Joel's point. I mean, forever the feeling was, well, and there's good news for the Royals. The feeling was forever that, well, it'll be either the Angels or the A's winning the division. The other team will make the wild card. So there's really only one wild card spot left. Well, not so fast.
You know, the game changes every day, obviously, but as the season comes down to the end, you just never can predict. No one can. You have the quote unquote baseball experts that try to tell you what's going to happen before the season starts, and there's no one that can do that. You can make a general guess, but that's why they play the game. The round ball, the round bat, you just never know where it's going to land.
By the way, we looked it up, and the Tigers are 18-15 since the David Price trade. So they have a winning record, but we're probably hoping for better than 3 games above 500. And by the way, that score we just showed you, Justin Verlander gave up all 7 of those runs in 6 2/3 innings. Hit well to left field. Alex is back, and that's over his head. Elvis Andrus with a leadoff double, second time in the last 3 innings the Rangers have had a leadoff double, and for Andrus, that's his first hit tonight. Justin Verlander's ERA is 4.80.
Yep, he's struggling. Out over the middle. Breaking ball didn't quite stay on the outer half like he wanted it to, and he barreled it. No chance for Alex.
By the way, Verlander's next start is against the Royals on Monday.
It's going to be a fun road trip.
One and one. Close, and this time the call did not go Vargas's way. But he's had a very fair, if not friendly, strike zone to work with so far tonight. And that was a delayed call, but a strike, and now Rios questions him about it.
I think he might be saying something about Vargas not coming to a stop because he quick pitched him there.
Long run Kane coming in. He's got it. So a non-productive out, and Rios is still getting on Field and Colbreth, the home plate umpire, as he jogs back to the dugout. One down to Adrian Beltre. Beltre has reached on an error and doubled, and his double gives him a 20-game hitting streak against the Royals.
Yeah, obviously, you know, first base is open. You know, middle of the game here, you don't want Beltre to beat you. That's the one guy in that lineup that has the skills to be able to put the ball out of the ballpark and really hurt you. I think Salvy's talking to him about that. And be careful with him. Ryan Rua is hitting behind Beltre, not exactly a household name.
1 ball, 1 strike. There was a situation last night in the top of the 8th inning. 1-1 tie. Rios reached with 2 down, and then Rios stole second. He actually went to third on a throwing error by Perez, but that effectively took the bat out of Beltre's hands. And then Frazier struck out Rua. Well, Beltre there didn't have the opportunity to put the Rangers in front. That's a pretty severe drop off as far as experience and numbers go from the 4-hitter to the 5-hitter in the Rangers lineup.
No question.
Two and two. Got him to chase a change down and away and almost spun him into the ground.
Had a feeling when Salvi went to the mound, and he does that periodically in every game, was to say the same thing we were talking about. Look, let's get ahead of him, but let's try to stay away from him and let's try to fool him here. And he did that.
So here's Rua, and he missed the changeup. 0-1. One ball, 1 strike. Rua in the 4th inning, after a leadoff double, hit a ground ball to Infante at second base, but he got underneath it. The result was a ground ball, but it stayed in the air and did not allow Beltre to go to third. The next batter, Rosales, hit a fly ball, but Beltre wasn't at third base to score. So that's one of the bigger outs tonight for Vargas. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rua has also singled to left.
See what Vargas is doing, mainly fastball changeup. Very few breaking balls. He'll throw those for get me over strikes, usually first pitch.
Hold on the ground, foul. Vargas on Friday gave up 10 hits to the Indians, and in the start against the Rangers he gave up 11 hits, so 21 hits in his previous 2 starts. Tonight just 4 hits in 5 2/3 innings. Trying to spoil another Rangers leadoff double, as he did back in the 4th. Runner goes, and Andrus will steal third. That's his 25th. It's 2-2 on Rua.
Yep, let him have it. Salvi couldn't get a grip on it. It was an off-speed pitch. No need to try to waste the throw down there. 2 strikes on the hitter. Try to get him.
Doesn't happen very often, but last night a steal of third with 2 outs ended up being a big play, as Dyson stole third, and then Salvador Perez, who drove in the go-ahead run, that ended up being an infield single off of Beltre's glove. If Dyson doesn't steal third there, Perez doesn't drive him home.
You're right. take what you can get. Stay aggressive. Now, because you know, Beltre, he was a little surprised he didn't glove that ball last night down the line, and we were all shocked he didn't catch it either. But the ball didn't go very far, so you're right. I don't think he would have scored from second base.
Ned Yost had a little different take on that, and he felt like only Beltre would have gotten his glove on it. At any other third baseman, that would have been a double down into the corner.
He might be right.
Two ways to look at it.
Here it was. And he didn't even have to leave his feet.
That will be a foul ball and back into the second row. Nine pitches to Rua. 23 in the inning for Vargas.
We can get a little ground ball to Moose.
Shallow right center. Kane got a great break.
Good pitch inside.
Second time in 3 innings the Rangers get a leadoff double and no runs. Royals baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. A warm but comfortable evening in Kansas City and at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals go for a 3-game sweep, and pending the suspended game, the Royals could finish with a winning record on this homestand at 5-4. Susan Taylor is our Sonic Slam inning contestant from KCMO, North KCMO. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Susan wins $5,400. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Susan wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Top of the order, third time through against Nick Tepish. Nori trying for an infield hit with a bunt. Our Toyota League leaders, as the Royals 4 of the top 8 in the American League in infield hits.
If you got speed, why not use it? A lot of players that you see there, Altuve especially, who leads the American League, is going to run a lot of his average. Guys like Billy Butler who don't have that speed, you got to hit their average. They got to hit every bit of it. It's a nice advantage to have.
Norrie is grounded to third and grounded back to the mound. Bunting again. Tough play. Just got him. So a tough play and a very good play for out number one.
Great touch. Obviously he wanted to do it. That's a really nice bunt there. If he bunts it down the line, the third base line, he's got a better opportunity there. And let's see where he steps on the base. Yeah, right there on the front part. Close play.
Strike to Infante. He is singled and flied out, and he scored after his fourth inning single on Alex Gordon's home run. Infante has hit in 5 straight games. Andrews, bare hand. That thing kicked on him to the left. He made that look easy. 2 down.
Is your dog a Royals fan? Well, now is your chance to bring your canine friend to the K on Wednesday, September 17th, as Bark at the Park is back for a second time this season. For just $35, you can get a ticket for both you and your dog in a Royals dog mat. Plus, a donation will be made to the KC Pet Project for every ticket purchased. In order to attend, you must register beforehand. So, go to Royals.com/bark and bring your dog to the park. Oh man, they're everywhere already.
Curveball is high. 2-0 on Alex. Alex hit his 19th home run in the 4th inning, and the 121st home run of his career. Alex's career high is 23. So he's got a good shot at that. He did that in 2011, and Alex hit 20 last year. Alex's 10th all-time in Royals history with 121 home runs, and 2 more, and he will tie Carlos Beltran for 9th. Slice the other way, and Robertson is there, and that's the inning. 3 up, 3 down. A couple of plays required good defensive plays. At the end of 6, the Royals still lead 2-0.
Lorenzo Cain moves over to right as Nori Aoki is out. On Mazda game break,
Here's the 2-1.
we go to Cleveland. Shocker. Carlos Santana goes deep again. Stop me if you have heard this before. Maybe the big news, though, as the Indians blast the Tigers. Justin Verlander, 6 2/3, 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned. His ERA is 4.80.
Oh my. Dyson takes over in center field. Cain goes over to right.
Maybe the Royals might be catching Verlander and the Tigers at the right time on Monday when he toes the slab at Comerica Park. Royals 10 games over 500 on the road.
Jason Vargas with 6 scoreless innings. Throws a strike to Rosales, who has struck out and flied out to right. One and one. Well hit to right center. Cain, who just moved over to right, handles Rosales for the second time. 1 down in the 7th. .90 pitches in 6 1/3 innings. Academy Sports and Outdoors, as Vargas is in his first year with the Royals. A deal that surprised some when the Royals signed him to 4 years, and did it very early in the free agency process. But among starters with a new team this year, don't know if there's anybody out there when you look at all of those statistics, you put them all together and evaluate his impact with the Royals.
It's been everything that they've expected. I'm going to say more. He's a veteran guy. They knew he was durable. Now nobody knew that his appendix was going to burst halfway through the season, but that really could be a blessing in disguise. He took some time off, so maybe have a little bit of a stronger arm, and a little fresher to finish the season.
Look out.
Ouch. Somebody got that. That little guy looks like he got a little owie. Uh-oh.
Little cut on the head. Well, the good news is she's on her feet.
Yep.
And noticed that she was bleeding and didn't wait for anyone to tell her to go up the stairs. She went on her own.
With the smile on her face. She's a gamer.
Well, what she's trying to do is get up to first aid as quick as possible to get her stitches so she can get back down to her seat.
That's right. You know why? Because she knows coming up next inning is Salvador Perez. She don't want to miss it.
Two and two on Taylese. One down in the 7th inning, and the Royals, beyond wanting to win this game, would love to give the back end of the bullpen another night off. And Herrera is just playing catch. He is not what is considered hot, which means he is revved up and ready to come in. He's just making sure his arm is loose if the call comes. 2 down. So Vargas is 1 out away from giving at least Herrera 3 days off.
Yep, Vargas, before the game, we were talking about if he can go 7 innings, that'd be a very nice outing for him and the bullpen.
Leonis Martin is 0 for 2. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Rangers only have 4 hits against Vargas tonight. 3 are doubles. That pitch just barely missed, and 2 of those doubles were leadoff doubles. Jason has pitched around those. That could be another extra base hit. Kane gets to it quickly, and Martin holds with a single. Kane gets it all the way to second base on the fly.
Another ball that Vargas wanted him to make some contact, was hoping he'd hit at somebody. But Lorenzo Cain with his speed. Hosmer's got good range, but he couldn't get that one. He's able to hold him to a single with it. Getting that ball quickly with a strong throw.
So the potential tying run comes to the plate. And it's the number 9 hitter, Luis Sardinas, who does not have a major league home run. Call just went down to the Royals bullpen, and now Herrera is getting hot, as they say, preparing to come in. If Sardinas reaches, that would put the potential go-ahead run at the plate. And now Vargas is over 100 pitches. Base hit left field. Ned Yost is on the steps next to bench coach Don Wakamatsu. So this is where a manager gets very protective of a pitcher who's thrown a good game. Robertson at the plate is not one to hit for power, but Ned doesn't want to put Vargas in a position where one swing could take him from a winner to a potential loser. And now Ned makes the call. Kelvin Herrera is a Chevy call to the bullpen.
Get it to the pin to win.
Ed Yost second. Appreciating the efforts of Jason Vargas as he gets the game to 2 outs in the 7th inning. And the Royals in front 2-0. Off day tomorrow for the Royals, then on to Yankee Stadium. Friday's game here on Fox Sports Kansas City. Saturday, the Royals and Yankees will play at 3 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1. And then Sunday back on Fox Sports Kansas City.
James Shields, Michael Pineda on Friday night. Duffy, Brandon McCarthy on Saturday, and Sunday it's Ventura versus Shane Green. Some really good matchups.
Inside ball 1 as Martin takes third with a stolen base. Second time in the last 2 innings the Rangers have stolen third with 2 outs. One ball, 1 strike.
Carrera mid to upper 90s. He'll even go triple digits with his fastball. He's got a little overhand curve he'll mix in once in a while, but his best secondary pitch is his changeup at around 88 to 90.
Hosmer makes the play first, so it's a very short outing for Herrera, just 3 pitches. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals, hoping for a sweep, have a 2-0 lead.
Stadium. If you have not seen the playoff contending Royals, check out ticketsforless.com. Tickets for Less is your trusted source for all tickets and still has great lower level tickets between the bases for all remaining Royals games. Check out ticketsforless.com for all your Royals tickets. Ryan, I mentioned it last night. Hard to believe. Just one more homestand to go. And then, of course, hopefully some more baseball at the K after that.
And it's a long homestand. Royals will have another 10-game homestand. Boston for 4, Chicago for 3, and then the last 3 home games of the year, a weekend series against the Detroit Tigers. Well, Nick Tepesch has only thrown 75 pitches in 6 innings and 1 batter. And he's only allowed 2 runs. A home run to Alex Gordon back in the 4th inning. So aside from going up against Jason Vargas tonight, that's a very good night.
Excellent. He's done his job. He can't hit for his offense. They haven't been able to come through with runners in scoring position.
There we go. Now we can see the back of the jersey. Liselberto Bonilla warms up behind Tepesh in the right field bullpen. Any Liselbertos in your family?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Three and two on Sal. He is lined to third and flied out to left field. He has 4 RBIs in this Royals Rangers series. Game-winning RBIs in the first 2 games. Hit hard into the left field corner and off the wall. Sal's going to try for 2. The throw comes in wild. A blind heave back to the infield by Robertson, and Salvador Perez has the leadoff double.
Salvi just missed his 17th home run by about 3 feet. He was waiting for an off-speed pitch that was elevated, and he got it. Actually, it looked like it was a pretty good pitch as far as elevation goes. It was down around his knees, but he provided the lift. Phantom cam, nice and slow for you. We'll see how Salvi is able to get his arms extended. That's what pitchers do not want. They want to be able to tie up a guy. Don't let him get his arms extended when that happens. You see balls fly out of the ballpark and off the wall like that one.
Hosmer is grounded to short, grounded back to Tepesh. Wade Davis getting ready for the top of the 8th inning. Herrera finished off the 7th inning, but only needed to make 3 pitches. Outside with a breaking ball, ball 1 on Hosmer. Trying to at least get it over to the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pokes it over toward third base. So that will not advance Sal. 1 down. Billy Butler is due. He is 0 for his last 15. He is grounded to short and struck out tonight against Tepesh. And that's a fair ball. So he cashes it in. Billy Butler gives the Royals a 3-0 lead as the Royals hit another double. And Billy drives in his 58th of the year.
There's a nice little piece of insurance for the rest of the bullpen. That was timely. Billy ready. Yeah, his first pitch says, you know what? I got to get something going here. Tepes tried to get in there with a first pitch strike. Billy wouldn't let him. Just hugged the line.
The Royals have hit 9 doubles in the last 2 games. That's Billy's 28th. He comes out for Terrence Gore, who will run for him at second base with 1 down. Terrence made his big league debut last night as a pinch runner.
Well, his pitch count very manageable at 84. Mike Maddox, they're just talking it over. Tepes going to stay in the game.
Lorenzo on an 0-2 pitch in the 5th inning. Got a slider away and went into right field. That slider was over the inside. Lorenzo is also grounded out to short.
Sardinas, the second baseman, he's standing right on second base. They're a little nervous about Gore. It's okay for Lorenzo Cain. He opens up that right side of the infield.
One and one. Cain didn't think that was a strike. 1-2.
Fox tracks will show you. He might be right. That ball was inside.
Well, it was established very early in the game tonight that Field and Cobreth was going to turn most of the borderline pitches into strikes. Very few of the borderline pitches have been called balls. Gore holds at second base as Andrews throws out Cain, and there are 2 down. Rangers have a lefty in the bullpen as Mike Moustakas is announced into the game, and Ron Washington is out of the third base dugout. So Tepes right on the edge of 90 pitches. He has allowed 2 doubles in the inning, and wanting to make sure that this game doesn't get out of hand, will make a call to the bullpen. second base with 2 down in a 3-0 lead. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery, with director Steve Kurtenbach. Our producer tonight is Larry Mago. Associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Brian Shapiro, along with the rest of our great Fox Sports Kansas City crew. We wind down a 10-game homestand. Alex Claudio to face Mike Moustakas with Gore at second base and 2 down. Claudio is a Chevy call to the bullpen, and he's on for the second time in the series.
Yep, got a nice ERA down there. He's tough to figure out. He's going to go 84 to 88 with his fastball. He's got a little slider, but a great changeup.
Gore to third, and Gore to the plate.
How about those wheels? First big league stolen base, and forced the air and sprinted home to score a run. Look at that forward lead. Wow. There is a much needed commodity just appearing there for the first time in his career for the Kansas City Royals. Terrence Gore showing what got him here. Speed.
All that on one play. His first stolen base and run scored. So Wade Davis, at least for the moment, can sit down as Lewis Coleman will begin warming up in the bullpen. Moustakas strikes out to end the inning. The Rangers, who have had a bad year defensively, commit their first error of the series, and it's a critical one as it helps the Royals to a 4-run lead at the end of 7.
Finding a way. Speed helps.
In the 7th for a 4-0 lead and 6 outs to go on defense from a Royals sweep over the Rangers. Our sprint question of the night. 1983 was the last year. It was actually the 3rd time, but it was the last time the Royals had 3 players with at least 25 or more stolen bases. Also in 1978 and 1979. And when Lorenzo Cain swipes his next stolen base, he will make the Royals the 4th team in history. Willie Wilson, UL Washington, and the Duke. John Wathan was part of that 83 team with 25 stolen bases or more.
That's right. Way to go, Duke. Catcher with some speed. Willie Wilson, he had 83 stolen bases in 1979. What a base stealer.
Coleman throws a strike to Andrus. Now you're saying to yourself, John Wathan, catcher, 28 stolen bases? Really? That wasn't even his career high. He had a 36 stolen base season. Now, not all of those games were as a catcher, but the majority were. No, all 36. He had more than that, but 36 of those were as a catcher, and that's the major league record.
It's pretty outstanding. I was having dinner with him a couple of nights ago. He's talking to me about how he's able to play outfield, a little bit of infield. You know, he was a specialty type of player. Very rare to have a guy that could do all those things.
Three and one from Coleman to Andrus. And a leadoff walk. That's the first walk given by a Royals pitcher to the Rangers tonight. Remember, you can find great seats anytime, anywhere with the StubHub app. And with the StubHub app, you can pick your Royals tickets and scan your barcode right at the gate using only your mobile phone. There's no need to print from home. Get the StubHub app today.
Coleman will go with his sinking fastball, his slider. He's got some changeup in him.
That tied up Rios, and he fouls it away.
Yep, has some deception to his delivery. Throws across his body. Tough on righties.
No swing on appeal to Alan Porter, the first base umpire. 1-1.
It's all about how you sell it as a hitter. You want to try to keep the hands above in front of the barrel. Keep the barrel back. Sometimes that gets it for you.
Didn't mean to do it. Coleman's play is to first. Rios was way inside the baseline. One down, and Andrus goes up to second base.
A lot of times right-handed hitters are going to come out of the batter's box just like this. They got a little lean. They're coming in, but you know, had that ball hit Rios at all, he would have been out. Left-handers too, they'll come out of that box and they're moving forward lots of times, and they end up running on the grass. I remember doing that a lot. Just trying to get back into the baseline. It's not easy.
Beltre has doubled. That was in the fourth inning. 1 for 3. Mentioned it earlier. He has a 20-game hitting streak against the Royals. Oh, 2.
Rangers 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position tonight.
And 0 for 19 the last 2 games. Adrian Beltre, by the way, is 0 for 5 in the past against Coleman, so he's had some trouble with Coleman's unorthodox delivery. And he can be a handful for a right-hand batter. Close. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
A little bit of movement in towards the right-handed batter, Beltre. Oh, maybe he goes a slider away here. Finish him off.
Beltre will ask for his own appeals. And I don't know if in his mind he believes he didn't swing, or maybe he wants the umpire to think that he didn't go around by asking for the appeal. Maybe it's a psychological move more than anything else.
Yeah, it is. It's enjoying competition in the big leagues.
He is 0 for 6 against Coleman. Ryan Rua 1 for 3 with a single back in the 2nd inning. Coleman trying to close out the 8th inning, keep Davis out, keep Holland out. Last night the Royals did just fine without those 3, but Herrera and Davis have long scoreless streaks. The 2 longest, by the way, in the major leagues that go back to June the 26th. So the 3 of them, Herrera, Davis, Holland, their ERA since then is so small you can hardly see it. 0.34. But as Ned Yost has said on several occasions, that's good, but he needs some guys who can complement Herrera, Davis, and Holland. And over that same stretch, the rest of the bullpen has an ERA of 5.73. And yeah, you just pointed out, had no home runs allowed by the big 3 since the end of June.
Extremely important, and you got guys like that that can finish the game, shorten it up.
That'll skip away from Sal and allow Andrews to go to 3rd base. A wild pitch. It's 2-2 on Rua.
Coleman's got some really nice bite to his slider tonight. Really sharp. Starting middle and finishing up off the plate away. It's exactly what it's designed to do.
Past Coleman and into center field. So Andrews reaching with the leadoff walk, going to 3rd on a wild pitch. He will score. It is now 4-1. The tying run is on deck, and now it becomes a save situation again.
If he left that ball up, that's the first mistake that he's made in his 3 hitters. 4 hitters, excuse me.
Well, Ned's keeping an eye on the bullpen, and he'll make the switch. So Royals weren't able to stay away from Herrera, but he only threw 3 pitches. They were unable to stay away from Davis, but hopefully he'll need just 1 batter and get the Royals through the 8th inning.
As Panera takes us around the league, and we told you before, Seattle pitchers duel wins it 2-1. Cleveland blasts Detroit. Jose Ramirez, nice game for him. Chris Davis goes deep for number 25 as the Orioles shut out Cincinnati. And the Yankees beat Boston 5-1. Royals off day tomorrow and head to New York and the Bronx for the weekend. Ryan?
Okay, Joel, so the lead for the Royals at the moment is 1. And getting closer to a game and a half. Wade Davis comes on with a runner at first and 2 down. Rougned Odor pinch hits for Adam Rosales.
Davis, incredible numbers. 90 strikeouts in 61 1/3 innings. Gets it done. Mid-90s fastball. He cuts his fastball and has an overhand curve.
Odor started the first 2 games at second base. He had 2 hits. And the only Rangers run last night. 20 years old. Rougned Odor.
Pretty impressive. 7 home runs. The little guy's got some pop.
Right over the outside at 96. 1-2. Here's what we were talking about earlier in the inning. The longest active major league scoreless streaks goes back to June the 26th. Wade Davis, the longest. 27 2/3, followed by Kelvin Herrera.
That's getting the job done. That's what you want. I mean, you rarely see that, but to have 2 guys in the back of the bullpen that lead in scoreless innings.
Base hit for Odor, and that'll get Rua from first to third, and brings the potential tying run to the plate. It's an interesting wording because we call it a save situation, even though Davis most likely wouldn't get a save if we went that far. But Davis either gets a hold or a blown save, depending on what he does in this inning. And once the inning starts, it is considered a save situation if the tying run is on deck. So why not wait another batter and potentially save Wade Davis? Well, the reason why Ned Yost makes that change immediately is because he doesn't want the pitcher to come out of the bullpen and one mistake could tie the game. He wants to give him a little bit of room for error. So Davis faces a hitter, gives up a base hit. Now the tying run actually comes to the plate.
It's time to get down to business. Now, that last curveball that Odor hit was a good pitch. I mean, that's just excellent hitting. The young man's part there to hit that ball down and in way off the plate like that.
And now 2 strikes on Tailless. And Fonte fields, throws them out. The Rangers get 1. Davis gets the final out of the 8th inning. And the Royals still lead by 3. to a blue October. Royals come up in the bottom of the 8th inning, ahead by 3. We thank Kelly for sending in for AT&T fan photo from here at Kauffman Stadium. Don't forget, by using hashtag KC fan photo, chance to have yours shown during an upcoming game broadcast. Rougned Odor, who pinch hit in the 8th inning, stays in at second base, and Luis Sardinas, who was at second base, moves over to third. Phil Klein comes on to pitch for the Rangers. No relation to the former Attorney General of the state of Kansas. Different spelling. How about that? You knew that, right, Hud?
All the time. Every day. I do know that Klein's got an 88 to 91 mile an hour fastball. He'll cut it, and he's got a slider.
Escobar, Aoki, and Infante. The Royals got 2 in the 4th inning on Alex Gordon's 2-run home run. 2 more in the 7th. Butler doubled in a run, and then Terrence Gore, playing in his second big league game, stole third, and then after a throwing error by the catcher Taylor, Gore came down from third to score. Escobar has doubled tonight. The Royals have hit 9 doubles in the last 2 games. There's Terrence Gore. Gore to score.
How about it? I like it.
Two and two. Well, we saw Lane Adams make his big league debut last night. Terrence Gore. And if the Royals can provide some offense here in the bottom of the 8th inning, we may see the big league debut of first-round pick Brandon Finnegan warming up alongside Greg Holland. Martin over from center field to make the play. And now Klein will get Gerard Dyson, who hits for the first time. Dyson took over in center field in the 7th inning. Ned Yost's been doing that almost every night when Dyson is not in the starting lineup, essentially coming in for Aoki. Tonight Kane shifts from center field to right as Dyson came in. Dyson last night using his speed. In the same inning, he failed to advance a runner from second to third with nobody out, but then he stole second and stole third. And if not for that second stolen base, Royals don't get that run on Perez's line drive that went off of Beltre's glove.
Yep. No question, the speed is a part of the offense of the Kansas City Royals. Made a big impact.
And we'll see what kind of fielder Klein is. Bare hands, throws, dangerous. Dyson almost collided with Rua's arm. 2 down.
Swing and bunt. Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, that's really close. Great play by Rua. Close to hitting the back of the head of Dyson. Good hustle.
And now Klein gets Omar Infante 1 for 3. He singled in front of Gordon's home run in the 4th inning. Phil Klein, Rangers pitcher, is from Youngstown State, which is the proud alma mater of a member of the Royals Major League support staff, whom we are not allowed to talk about on the air. But in reading the bio of the gentleman we're not supposed to talk about on the air.
You mean Jeff Davenport?
All right, you said it, not me. Did you know he had a degree in communications?
I did know that.
The guy we're not supposed to talk about, not Phil Klein. Well, I was going to go on and talk about his resume in professional baseball, but I'm going to stop short because I prefer to not have my hotel room for the rest of the season next to either an elevator or an ice machine. But if that happens to you, it is on tape that you let the cat out of the bag.
My bad.
Yes, it was. For the record. To the 9th inning, the Royals lead the Rangers 4-1. Top of the 9th inning. And coming up after the game, Boulevard Royals Live with Joel and Monty, Josh Vernier. And for a 3rd consecutive night, the Royals Joel and Monty can talk about another stellar pitching performance from a starter. Jason Vargas, 6 2/3 scoreless. The bullpen has allowed just 1 run. And while the Royals will use Herrera, Davis, and Holland, Herrera only needed to get 1 out. Davis only needed to get 1 out. And now Holland will have to get 3 with an off day tomorrow.
I think they'll be okay as long as Holland can get some early count outs here. Go for his 42nd save.
I guess that does sound a little greedy, doesn't it? You get to a point where you start talking about, well, let's get a win, but let's not use Herrera, Davis, and Holland.
It's hard to do without these guys. But, you know, it's impossible for him to pitch every single night. Just can't do it. Fernando Rodney got his 41st save today out in Oakland.
Hosmer down to a knee. He'll take it himself. One down. Luis Sardinas is 1 for 3 with a single tonight. Ball one outside. Two and 0 from Holland to Sardinas. Royals have already won the season series with the Rangers. If they can close this one out, they will go 5-1 against Texas this year. And in many years past, if you were going to beat the Rangers, you better do it with the long ball, because normally it was a slugfest. But over the last 2 years, the Royals and Rangers have played a lot of low scoring games, and the number that stands out this year is the Royals starters ERA against the Rangers. Royals starters had a 1.58 ERA in 6 games against the Texas Rangers. Now it's the last place Texas Rangers, and their big bats, many of them are on the disabled list, but still 1.58.
Yeah, they're big league players when they come to the big leagues. So, but the number that stands out to me is the Rangers have used 61 players, including 38 pitchers this year. Both records in Major League Baseball for a season. So that really has hamstrung Ron Washington. But you still got to get the ball over the plate and pitch in that ballpark, especially.
Sardinas battling Holland, still 2 balls, 2 strikes. 15,771 here tonight. Got him. 2 down to the 9th. So 1 out away from a sweep. After the off day, the Royals will be in New York. James Shields, Michael Pineda. Pineda pitched very well against the Royals during the first game of this homestand. Danny Duffy, Brandon McCarthy. McCarthy's done a nice job for New York since coming over from Arizona. And then Yordano Ventura and Shane Green for the Sunday afternoon game. Remember, Friday and Saturday on Fox Sports, or Sunday, Friday and Sunday on Fox Sports Kansas City, Saturday on Fox Sports 1. Greg Holland trying to tie the major league lead for saves. Daniel Robertson with 2 down. 0-1. Rangers are 1 out away from a 5-game losing streak where they have scored 7 runs. 7 runs in 5 games. One ball, 1 strike.
Watch how Salvador just catches that on the hop with his backhand. That's amazing how quick he is. Such a big guy.
Hard slider makes it 1-2. And now almost every one of the 15,771 out of their seats. Royals are a strike away from taking a game-and-a-half lead in the Central. Struck him out. Greg Holland saves another KCW, and the Royals have a game-and-a-half lead in the Central Division. Alex Gordon hits his 19th home run of the year, his 4th of the homestand with 8 RBIs. Casey will hang that W up on the Royals Hall of Fame. The Royals, pending the suspended game, go 5-4 on the homestand. And they only lost a half game during that stretch and hit the road in first place all by themselves in the American League Central.
Royals doing what they're supposed to do against teams with losing records. They're winning them. Now, it doesn't always a guarantee, but that young man right there, Gore, came in, stole his first big league bag, and scored his first big league run. Slugger got the broom out.
Royals are 77-61. Let's go down to the field. Here's Joe Goldberg.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. We've got Gordon and Gore with us. Let's begin with the Royals All-Star, Alex Gordon. You know how great this pitching is when you get that lead. What are you thinking? Here it comes. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. Alex says, you got me too. Me too, Salvi. All right. The importance of being able to get that lead with this pitching staff.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, they've been doing it all year and did it again tonight. You know, Jason just, gets in tough situations sometimes, but always gets out of it. So he's been great for us all year, and that's all we needed.
How important, here we go again. That was the red Gatorade flavor. If there's anything left, Salvi will be back in a moment. Clearly the red Gatorade. No, you're all right now, Terrence. Both buckets are empty. Alex, the importance of this series, too, after a rough weekend in homestand, to be able to come back and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it was huge. Obviously, we didn't play that great against Cleveland, and they came in here and took care of business. But, good teams respond, and that's what we did. So we're playing well now, and we got a tough road trip coming up, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Any idea who's faster, him or Dyson?
Gord.
Oh. Well, Alex will go into the clubhouse right now and talk to Gerard Dyson. We talk to Terrence Gore. Welcome to the big leagues officially. You got your feet wet last night. Now you got your jersey wet. How much fun is this?
I'm having so much fun. I'm just glad to be here.
I've had a few people sending me messages saying that you look like you're about 11 or 12, but here you are at the big league level. What were you thinking as you're at second base, a chance to show those wheels?
I was just trying to help the team out in any kind of way I can, and, just stole that base.
Well, how much do you hear from Gerard Dyson? Not about who's faster, but maybe learning from him, because he's been in this situation before, too, a guy that's coming in the pinch run.
I mean, he has helped me out a lot. I mean, he helped me about, pitching, just everything. Everything he does, I do.
Well, you follow him. He likes to say that's what speed do. It works for him. It worked for you tonight. Welcome to the big leagues.
Thank you.
Terrence Gore. And he has been soaked twice by Salvador Perez. I guess, Ryan, when you spent the year in the minor leagues, beginning in A-ball, you're not getting one Gatorade bucket. You're getting two.
Yeah, I think you will trade peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the minor league clubhouses for a red Gatorade shower every time. Right, Hud?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Congratulations, young Gore comes in to score. Hope we see more of it.
Royals sweep the series. We'll get you set for the road trip when we come back.